In this video, I'm going to try to answer the question, what is a CPanel? So here's the scenario. You're a web designer. Not only are you a web designer, you're a web front-end developer. And somebody comes up to you and says, I need a website. And you say, I can do that. What's your first step? How do you actually go about putting the work that you do on the web? Well, the first thing is that you have to find a web server company. And the one that I use, I've been using them for the past 4 years, is called HostGator. With a company like HostGator, or a lot of different web server providers, they will give you different levels of hosting. And some levels are much more expensive than others. Well, let's click this web hosting, and they have 3 levels of web hosting. They've got a hatchling, a baby, and a business plan. And there's a link here that allows you to compare all hosting plans, and we'll take a look at that. So with the web hosting packages, all 3 support unlimited disk space, unlimited bandwidth, and you're allowed 1 domain. In other words, you're allowed 1 of these. A .com, if you're in Canada, .ca. But if you go to the baby or the business, you have unlimited domains, which means with 1 of these plans, you can have several different clients' websites working at the same time. So let's click on the baby plan and see what's available. Now it's going to ask you what your domain is, and let's try something here. They allow you .com, .net, .org, .info, .biz. .ca is not available from HostGator. If you want .ca, you have to go to another provider that will allow you to register the domain, and then you point the domain using the name servers at HostGator to your web server location. And it's fairly easy to do. It's really just a couple of steps. With this particular provider, HostGator, the baby package is $6.36 per month if you bill for 36 months. You put in a username, a security PIN, the billing information, credit card or PayPal, and you create the account. Once you create the account, then you will get an email from the provider saying, direct your browser to this location, and then you can log in. And for me, my login is here. We'll put a password in and log in. With the HostGator control panel, or with CPanels in general, pretty much all web server providers have a CPanel, and they all pretty much look the same. In this case, there are special offers here. If you're looking for support, you can click on Live Chat Support, or you can go to the support portal, which is kind of a wiki for support issues. We have files, databases, mail. Because you have this account, you have mail, which is associated with the domain that you also registered. And here's the area for domains, security, preferences, and other things. If you are looking to install something like WordPress, you can go to Fantastico, and Fantastico allows you to install quite easily WordPress, current installations, and you can create a new installation. On the left-hand side, once you scroll down past the advertising crud, you'll see things like website traffic, and there are different domains that I have registered here, and you can check the traffic using this selector. Backup status. The web server has a regular backup, which is every week, and it tells you if the last one was successful. Statistics for the main domain, which is, for me, nascaddesign.ca. There are unlimited add-on domains, so this is where if you had a client, your main domain would be your design company, and the add-on domains would be the ones that you would add for individual clients, and I've currently got 7 add-on domains. You can also create subdomains. So for example, I've got NASCAD Design, and I've got blog.nascaddesign. I've got General Eccentric and blog.generaleccentric. So General Eccentric is an add-on domain, and I've got a subdomain of the add-on domain called blog.generaleccentric.net. And you have unlimited subdomains. One thing, though, if this all seems too good to be true, it probably is. Currently, with this account, and this is called a shared hosting account, which means that there is one processor at the HostGator location, and that one processor is hosting your websites and other people's websites, and they're separated by a kind of a software firewall. But the processor has to serve not just yours, but others. And so there are natural limitations on the processes that you are allowed to have. And with shared hosting, with this particular account, I have 8 out of 25 processes running. Now, a process is an email account or a MySQL database access. In this case, I have a number of different mail accounts that clients are using, and each person who has an email account, this can be a process. Now, these processes will start up and shut down on a regular basis, but if your user has a mail account and they've got the mail account on a running computer and their email client is running all the time, then these will not go away. They'll stay. And that means that there are fewer processes, other processes for you to use. You are limited to 25 in this situation. Now, if you're willing to pay more, you can increase that number if you go to a higher level of plan. The CPU usage, your percentage of the CPU is here. Memory usage, disk usage, and so on. You can create FTP accounts for your clients. This particular account, nascaddesign.ca, is the account that I'm using to serve your work. And I've given each of you an FTP account. And down here there's information about the actual account. The package is the baby package. It gives the IP address and the server name. And these are the name servers. This is what you need to put in, these name servers. If you register a domain from another provider, this is what you would put in to connect the domain to this server. Let's go and take a look at the file manager, for example. Now, all of this is stuff that happens in the browser, but you can do a lot of things that you would do with an FTP client and more. So these are all of the directories in this account. Most of them have a dot in front of them, which means they're hidden files. Backups are here. Mail accounts are here. And the htdocs, or the web files, are either in www or in public HTML. So we click on this, and you can see the directories all listed here. They happen to be listed here because this is the default view for the file manager. So for the class, this is the directory for the DSGN2510, and this is my directory here. If I want to, I can click on one of these HTML files, and I can use the HTML editor to edit the file. So I'm actually editing it here in a WYSIWYG mode. You can also edit the source. So you can actually, if you want to do a really, really quick change to the server copy of a web page, you can do it here. We'll quit the file manager. Setting up email accounts is easy. You choose the domain, the name, put in a password. Can't have spaces, so we'll get rid of spaces. That happens to be a very strong password. Or you can get it to generate a password. You can set up FTP accounts for your users. You can back up very, very easily on the server. You can look at the subdomains. So here are the subdomains that I've created. You can create them and you can delete them. And then you can also, as we saw, you can add various packages. You don't need to use these software services. You can, if you wanted to install something like WordPress, you could actually go to the WordPress website, download an install copy, and install it manually if you wanted to. But Fantastico or Quick Install are a little bit easier, and they do the configuration automatically to this particular server. If you do it manually, you have to go in and set some settings in the configuration files manually. So this is a little bit about actually signing up for some web space using a web server provider. So that's the short tutorial on arranging for your own web server.